Yeah, so you see Eddie Morris there on the low line. He was our leader, but because this pack was able to get together and draft together, Eddie really was unable to stay in front, and he's holding his own on the bottom line here, certainly still in the mix. But right now, Colin Willems and Devin Bacino are battling for the lead. You also see Will Witt up there in that 35 Pennzoil machine. He's a lap down, trying to get his way to the front to hopefully get his lap back. But right now, the 17 of Colin Williams asserting himself in the lead of this race.
Yeah, seems to find his way up to the front. Devin Buccino, Joe Wright, Chris Wheeler, TJ Floyd round out the top 5 right now.
And one thing that we haven't seen yet tonight is this high line being favorable for these drivers. And a lot of that has to do with the simple fact that that's where the cars are. And as these cars line up in a train, it builds up a lot of momentum. And we see a spin here. That might bring out the caution we've been waiting for. Perhaps not, as it looks like the incident went to the inside down on the apron. That's going to prevent the caution from coming out. That's a tough break for Will Witt, who was looking for himself to be in lucky dog position.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Caution is finally out. It looks like it was Joe Wright originally, and then it looks like Bobby Mays is what brings out the caution the second time. So let's cross our fingers here and go take a look at the crashes.
And that was a race-controlled thrown incident. It looks like the 82 spinning back on the track to try to bring out the caution, I presume.
Yeah, and definitely looked like he got into the wall coming out of 2 there and just loses it.
I think there maybe was a separate incident.
Yeah, that's this one here with Bobby Mays. Looks like he was looking to avoid the 82, gets into Nudie. And that's brings out the caution. So, really unfortunate set of circumstances there.
Yeah, a bit of a wild one. We saw several people go around seemingly independent of each other. Not really sure. It was kind of crazy, but we're going to re-rack it here with about 15 laps to go here in stage 2. I was wondering if we were going to see any takers on pit road. We do see several come in for tires. Interesting split strategy here as there's a few drivers stay out. So now we're going to get a chance to see just how much of an advantage fresh tires have at this track.
Yeah, and who knows? You know, like we had said, there's no fasties tonight, so a lot of those guys may be in there patching up some sheet metal to maybe get themselves into a top 10. Again, with no fasties, it's kind of survival of the fittest. So this is not the last accident I'm sure we'll see tonight. Dylan, we got about 15 laps or so left, so going to be some exciting stuff here.
Yeah, well, looking down at our leaderboard here, as I said, Colin Williams in first. I mentioned that Chris Wheeler was a bit of a dark horse tonight, somebody who could find his way in position. He's in second place, a great showing for him so far. I see Atman Weiss up here sitting in third. We saw him flip very high up into the air in stage 1, so glad to see him get it turned around. And I believe that's Devin Bacino and Eddie Morris, sort of our usual suspects back here, maintaining their competitive positions. So a lot of big names still left in the running here. I think we're going to see an exciting final 7 or 8 laps or so this stage to try to decide this thing. Who's going to go to the top 10? Who's going to go to stage 3?
Yeah, agree. It's definitely going to be exciting. Rounding out that top 10, Shapu, Josh Hall, Colton Kinsey, Kyle Mays, and Brian Myrtle Jr.
And I do see that Cody Moore, unfortunately, 19 laps down. I don't believe that he is on the track right now. He is on Discord. I was curious if maybe we could get a word with him, see if we can get his thoughts on the race. You see here Colin taking the high side. Interesting choice. He's going to take this green flag on the high side. It's a leader's discretion to choose to do that. But we're going to come out of turn 4 here. Pace car is going to dip down. We're going to get this thing green.
Yeah, didn't have time to grab Cody, unfortunately, but let's see what happens here on the green flag. As you said, Colin Williams will lead him back to the start here, hit the loud pedal, and we'll be back green.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is in the air. Cody with a decent jump here. Chris Wheeler able to stick with him for the most part. But Devin Bacino is going to follow Colin through and get side by side with the 22 car as we enter turn 1. Looks like the battle is going to be for second place. Colin choosing not to dip down to the bottom in front of Chris. He's going to stay high and try to get that push on the corner exit coming onto the backstretch. We should see him push ahead a little bit here with that draft help behind him. And Atlee's going to take it 3 wide with help from Eddie Morris. They're going to go down into turn 3. Chris Wheeler is going to be the odd man out, stuck in the middle. He falls back very quickly.
We see the whole Intensity team there down on the bottom line. Dylan, Atman, Eddie, and Josh Hall all teaming up against what looks to be Neon Racing and Colin Willems. So we'll see how this turns out here as we head down into turn 1.
And right now it's Colin Willems maintaining his lead in front of the 2 Neon drivers, Devin Bacino and Derek Chaput, who have been working closely together all night long. Devin with a big push for Colin. And that's a great look there at just how much racing action there is through the field. It looked like they might be 4 wide for a moment there in the back. Still 3 wide, 2 deep.
Yeah, a lot of those guys just fighting right at the cusp of that 10 spot. So that's really the cutoff there, as we see 3-4 cars within that group of your shot right there are not going to make it to stage 3.
And we see the cars still preferring, for the most part, this middle line through the corners. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought that these guys would be hugging the bottom, but they're clearly carrying a lot of speed through the middle of these corners, and it's really working for Colin and Devin right now.
Yeah, it's definitely something with these. You get big runs, and if you stay kind of in line, it tends to get a little bit tight and pushes up on you, Dylan. We seen that a lot last week in the shootout and some rubbing racing. So you kind of got to get in on a different line than the person in front of me or in front of you, or a slightly different line to get a run either coming out of the corner or down the back stretch or front stretch.
And we speculated whether those that chose to pit would have a clear advantage on fresh tires. Derek Chaput and Devin Bacino, they did pit, and they are sitting here sort of in the catbird seat of second and third position. But our leader, Colin Willems, did not pit. So at least when it comes to Colin, his old tires so far don't seem to be hurting him at all.
Yeah, 9 to go. The action's going to start to ratchet up here within the next couple of laps. People are going to start to negotiate where they can get into the top 10. We'll scroll back a little bit and see that group here. This is really where the race is to get into stage 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggressive driving going on back here. The 35, Will Witt, is still 1 lap down. So unfortunately, he's not really a part of this race. He's trying to just keep his car clean and hope that he can be in the lucky dog position should a caution come out. Good look at the 22 car here. He restarted in second place and was unable to stay in the draft as he kind of got shuffled out. And you see just how devastating that can be, as he is currently sitting just outside our top 10 in 11th place. He's got a little bit of work to do to work his way back up into contention for that stage 3 spot. And Back up front, David, Colin maintains his lead, but I'm sure he can't help but notice in his rearview mirror he's got not two, but three of the Neon Racing drivers behind him in a line. That does not bode well for Colin's chances should this team choose to make a move to get around him as we approach the end of the stage.
Yeah, he's got like the glow stick rave coming up in his rearview mirror right now. I'm sure he's enjoying that. Hopefully he's pumping some good EDM music in the first position and just rocking out right now, getting himself into the stage 3.
And we'll have to see how much these guys push for a chance to win. As a reminder, you've got to be in the top 10 to advance, and the field reverses itself for the start of stage 3. What that means is if you finish 10th in stage 2, you got the pole for stage 3. So there's not necessarily a lot of reason to try to win this stage as long as you're comfortably in the top 10. So we might see guys like Josh Hall, Joseph Wright, Eddie Morris, who are currently 6th, 7th, and 8th. They might be perfectly happy to finish where they are and get a good starting spot for stage 3. We'll have to see with these 5 laps to go. Do we see some aggressive moves for the win, or are these guys going to kind of ride and protect their position to the extent that they can?
Yeah, that's a great point. Like Chris Wheeler right now, sitting in the 11th spot, it's really all or nothing for him. He gets into the transfer spot, and he's also got the pole. So if he stays in 11th, then he's going home tonight and not getting into stage 3. So that's the race that we're looking at. TJ Floyd currently in that transfer spot. Whoa, as we have a big crash up front. This could shake some things up here, Dylan, as we see Eddie flying through the grass. Couple other drivers. Colin Williams was involved as well. See if we can take a look back here at what happened.
Some big frustration coming over the radio. Colin Williams involved. He was the leader. As we were just saying, they were well positioned to finish in the top 10, and unfortunately 3 wide. Contact is made, and these guys spin to the infield. And that might knock all 3 of those guys, Atlee, Eddie, and Colin, out of the top 10. There's no ability for them to repair those race cars as this race stays green with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Atlee is actually in the transfer spot in 10th right now, and has quite a big lead on Eddie, about 3.5 seconds. So it looks like the top 10 may be safe, but we thought that before, and we've seen some tight racing up front that took out nearly half of them. So
looking back at our lead pack here, unbelievable showing from Neon Racing as they are 1, 2, 3 right now. The team captain Devin Bacino in the lead with his team behind him. These guys look like they're going to all advance to the final round, barring something unforeseen happening with 2 laps to go. So a great bit of strategy by them to keep themselves out of trouble and in position. Kyle Mays and Josh Hall are going to round out our top 5 here. All 5 of these guys look like they're in a great spot. So as you said, the battle is going to be behind them for this 10th place position. Atlee Weiss currently in the transfer spot with Eddie Morris on the outside looking in. Yeah, it's funny. These guys are 3 wide, and they're racing to go backwards. They want the pole. I like what Chris is doing here. It looks like he's completely out of the throttle, and really asserting himself, saying, "I'm going to take this 10th position." It's an interesting bit of strategy here that I think is going to work out well for him. Meanwhile, Devin Bacino is going to take the win here in stage 2. And our pole sitter and final transferee going into stage 3 is going to be Chris Wheeler.
Awesome second stage action. Really, what'd we see? Only 1 yellow flag there, Dylan, with yellows on. So really some really good racing. Had to have the green flag stops. Everybody completed those. On my grid right now, our top 10 through are Devin Bacino, Derek Chaput, Brian Merle Jr., Kyle Mays, Josh Hall, TJ Floyd, Colton Kinsey, Joseph Wright, Atlee Weiss, and Chris Wheeler. And that grid will be inverted, so Chris Wheeler will have the pole as we head to stage 3.
And that means that it is going to be the end of the night for Eddie Morris, Colin Willems, Will Witt, Logan Hagerman, Brian Canuti, Todd Mays, Bobby Mays, Cameron Austin, and Cody Moore. Those are some big names I just read, David. So I think we're in for an interesting show here. There's a pretty good chance that we're going to see somebody win this all-star race that might not have been our first selection or our first pick. As expected, this has been a unique challenge for these guys, and I think that somebody's going to rise to the top here that perhaps is a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys have opportunities here, obviously, so it's anybody's race. Just to recap, full invert of the field, 10 laps. Cautions are on, but the caution laps do not count. And we're going to hand out $30 to the winner, Dylan. So these guys are racing for some cash tonight.
It's all on the line here. This is going to be a quick 10 laps, and cautions are on, but caution laps do not count. They've got to complete 10 full green flag laps to get themselves to the end. So I think the story of the race so far has been Neon Racing's ability to work together, draft with each other, and move unwanted individuals out of the way, so to speak. Can they continue that here in this final stage? I'm sure they're going to try, but I think the rest of the people here in the race are on to them, and they'll be looking to prevent that from happening once again. Eddie Morris, this is Dylan and David in the booth. Do you copy?
Hey boys, how's it going?
I wanted to drag you in, Eddie. Unfortunately, wasn't able to transfer there, but I wanted to sort of get your thoughts on how this All-Star race has gone from your perspective and what you're expecting to see in these final 10 laps.
Well, I mean, I put together a pretty solid race there. I don't know what happened with Cameron Austin, man. We had a second and a half lead, and if we could have just not had any cautions, we'd have been set up, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Later on in the runs, man, the cars seemed like they get a little pushy in the corners. So I'd expect that, especially with some really hard racing here for $30 on the line. I mean, it's unfortunate we didn't transfer, but I mean, it's racing. It happens. It's down there minding your own business, and next thing you know, you're watching the race. So it is what it is. It's a blast, though. I'm glad for them putting it on and everybody being here.
Yeah, Eddie, very unfortunate that those guys were racing a little bit hard there because it seemed like the 10 had kind of separated a bit. Even from 10th to 11th was almost a second difference. So a lot of guys had transfer spots. Wasn't really need to race that tight, but that's how it is sometimes. We're on to stage 3. The pace car's peeling off here, Dylan, and Chris Wheeler will hit the loud pedal as the green flag drops.
There we go, boys. 55 make it through in this? If he does, I expect some fireworks out of him. I don't know why he was driving so hard up there for that, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, Kyle Mays is in the running here. Looks like he's sitting in 6th, 7th place right now in front of the 3 Neon racing cars that have been working together all night long. I'll be interested to see if they can push their way through the field. What do you think of their ability to draft together, Eddie?
The ability to draft together, man, like it's fun, man. Like it's kind of like a super speedway, except for, you know, if you're riding that bottom line later in the run, you get a little pushy. You know, these things, they push real nice. We watch Joe Wright here take the lead. But yeah, they draft real nice. So it's pretty fun to drive around here.
Yeah,
you know, Joe Wright, we haven't really had a chance to talk about him much tonight. Kind of a quiet race put together by Joe, but quiet no more as he's in the lead. TJ just able to clear Atlee for that second position. He's going to try to break away and hopefully get to the back of Joe and push him out a little bit here.
Yeah, we know Michigan is a fond place in Joe's heart. He loves to race here. TJ also has a fond place in his heart as one of his favorite pushers on Speedways. So we'll see those guys work together here and see what they can come up with. Only 10 competitors, as we talked about. So you got to kind of stay with the draft there towards the back end. If anybody loses it, it kind of spells the end of their stage 3, sans a caution.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You lose the draft here, it's horrible. If you're about 0.6, 0.7 away, you can able to catch back up, but if it's any more than that, then you've lost it. So
We see Atlee looking low, dipping to the bottom. And I think Atlee is going to clear TJ here and lead this lap. That's a great move by Atlee. Drafted right up to the back of the 49 and was able to dip low.
yeah, they put Joe in the sucker hole there. He went
Yeah,
back.
Joe, you really fall back quick. It seems like as soon as you get hung out to dry, you're backwards. I mean, even more so than you would see at a Daytona or a Talladega.
Oh yeah, change happens fast, man. I mean, I love this type of racing, you know, the super speedway style. So I mean, it was a blast. I hate I didn't transfer though. It still kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's all good. It's whatever.
Atman we seen last week as well transfer through on the pass in the grass, Dylan, as you were involved in that. Hate to bring up bad nightmares from last week, but Atman out in front. He knows how to race here. We were in Discord last week sharing a bunch of different tips. So looking very, very strong, and I'm excited to see him out front.
Yeah,
See,
Atlee,
I was taking some notes from Atlee's pass in the grass there. I was hoping I was able to pass one more there. I don't know if y'all caught that on the broadcast or not, but man, that car was jumping around. It was hard. It was hard to keep straight. Let me tell you.
Atlee is an expert at incident avoidance. He's sort of Mr. Wreckage Replay in a good way. And unfortunately, as David mentioned, I was not able to put those same skills to use last week. But got to look here at, I believe that's Brian Morrow Jr. looking high. And I think this high line has been strong tonight, Eddie. I don't know if you agree. I was expecting the bottom line to be more favored tonight, but I think these guys are just able to kind of get some more stability and perhaps pick up some more momentum on the high line.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the way the cars push as the run goes on. If you kind of arch it in there, you don't have as much push. But if you're trying to hug that yellow line about mid 3/4 of the way through the corner, you're going to start pushing real bad. And if that high line's not pushing and they're not sideways, then they got the momentum. So that high line is definitely the line of short preference.
So we got 4 laps to go here, and I couldn't help but notice coming through the tri-oval that time that these guys are not giving each other as much room as they were a few laps ago. A lot more side drafting, kind of hugging down on each other. I think these guys certainly seem to be aware that the laps are ticking down, and I think we're going to see some aggressive moves here shortly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dylan. I was about to comment that it's been caution-free, pretty exciting action for the first 6 laps, but things are starting to heat up here as a lot more take than give starting to happen on the track. We'll see if that top line has any sort of dominance over the bottom here as we see some factions of 5-on-5 pretty much.
And we see Brian Morrow Jr. with the lead here. He chooses not to duck down in front of the low line. He's going to stay high with his teammates. And that's going to really prevent Atlee from getting the run he was looking for on the low side. And that's going to allow Neon Racing and Kyle Mays as well to pull through and sort of take the top 4 positions. We've got 2 to go, boys.
Yeah, I think it's about to start heating up because, you know, to make a run on these cars, you're going to have to kind of set it up. It's not something that you can just pull to the bumper and make it happen. It's something you have to strategically, all right, set them up here, pass them here. So I think business is going to pick up here pretty soon.
So right now we're heading into turn 3. These guys are going to be taking the white flag. Right now, Brian Morrow Jr., Devin Bacino, and Derek Chaput are 1, 2, 3. They are teammates, and I wonder how that's going to factor in. Do they play defense and try to hold the top 3 positions, or do we see Devin try to make a move on Brian, or Derek as well, try to make a move on his teammates? What are they going to do here?
Not sure, but I just want to let everybody know Junior Nation is on their feet right now.
Yes, they are, gentlemen. We got two corners left, excuse me, and it's all Neon Racing. To your point, Dylan, we'll see how that bears out coming through 3 and 4 and see who gets aggressive. I don't know that anybody can get to Junior right now.
It's all about the 74 right now. It's all about Junior Nation on their feet. $30 All-Star race. The All-Star is Brian Merle Jr. with the victory. Wow. 1, 2, 3 for Neon Racing. Big win for Brian Merle Jr.
Awesome stuff for him, man. I'm sure the rest of the guys are excited for him. Really a fan favorite among his colleagues for the most part as well. So really, really cool for him to win it.
Brian Merle Jr. with the win. Devin Buccino in second. Derek Chaput in third. Colton Kinsey with a great run tonight in fourth. Rounding out our top 5 is going to be Kyle Mays. 6th was Atlee Weiss. 7th, Joe Wright. 8th, Chris Wheeler. 9th, TJ Floyd. And 10th, rounding out our top 10 All-Stars tonight, Josh Hall.
Yeah, just want to shout out to Junior, man. Good win on that, brother. But I'm going to let y'all do y'all's thing, and appreciate y'all having me up here.
Yeah, Eddie, thanks for joining us for this final stage. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime, guys.
Thanks, Eddie. As we see Junior really burning it down. Got a bunch of his buddies there burning it down with him and celebrating Junior Nation in Victory Lane here at Michigan. We'll let him celebrate, take some sights and scenes here, and we will have the top 3 in the booth to have some chats on this All-Star race. And Dylan, what a good way to end the summer season for SCSRA. Really exciting stuff.
I thought it was a great race, David. And, as much as it was the conclusion for the summer series, it's also a statement made by this Neon Racing team moving forward into the fall season that these guys are ready to work together. They're ready to really throw down the gauntlet and say, we are the team to beat this season. And Brian Merle Jr., rapidly improving. I've been racing with this guy for a long time, and he's always been talented, but all of a sudden he's really putting it together and getting himself in victory lane. And I think that he's opening some eyes tonight and getting the attention of his fellow competitors that he's not just an all-star, but he's a winner, and he's going to be one to watch out for moving forward.
Yeah, I got you guys. Oh, it's big. We're expecting a lot out of this team this year, and it was great to get this start. And kind of shows the talent that we have here. I'm sure Dylan was appreciating the broadcast. So,
Derek, I am really impressed with what you guys put together tonight. Not just the drafting and the aggressiveness, but the patience that you guys showed. I was wondering, with 2 to go, does Devin make a move on Brian? Does Derek try to get around these guys? Are they just going to go for the win? After all, it's the All-Star race. But no, you guys really held it together and used your momentum as a 3-pack to your advantage to stay in front of everybody. Just talk about that strategy and the communication that you guys had in those final laps.
yeah, we just really wanted that 1, 2, 3. In the whole final stage, we were kind of just, okay, we're going to be patient. We'll hold that top line and see where it goes. And we had the chance to get some movement. And I don't think there was ever a thought from any of us that we were going to try to pass each other. We were just keeping that 3 in a row.
Chaput, the only competitor with a maple leaf, making it through to stage 3, representing Canada very, very well, obviously, on the podium, albeit on the lowest part of the podium where Canada usually is anyway. However, do you have anybody you want to give shout-outs or thanks to? The mic is yours, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to just give a shout out to Neon Racing. Like I said, I'm really excited for what's coming up here. I'm going to shout out to our primary sponsor, Tojo Mushrooms. And I'm going to give a shout out to anybody out there that's watching and enjoying our races all the time, and all the friends at work on our Skype group.
Awesome, dude. Well, congratulations on the podium. Good run tonight. We'll see more of you, I'm sure, as we head into the fall season. You have a good night, bud.
You too. Thanks, guys.
Devin, you got D Wright and Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
10-4, I got you guys.
So we were just talking with your teammate Chapu there. Dylan had brought it up from the beginning of the broadcast on all the matching paint schemes going on with Neon Racing, the new team formed, and then you guys come out and run 1, 2, 3 in the final. Get your boy Junior some 30 extra bones in the pocket. Talk to us about the new team and tonight in general. What's up, dude?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys for doing this tonight for us. It was Carolina Sim, and we decided on a rebrand, Dylan and I, with about a month left in iOS. And there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. We've been working really hard. All three of us have just contributed to this team, 3 or 4 different driving styles. We're really looking forward to this SESRA season. We got some sponsorship on board too. That's really excited, eager to watch us race. They really believe in what was iOS and what is SCSRA now. They're really excited to watch and be on board. But we just have the chemistry, man. We work really, really well together. We're always talking in the Discord, helping each other out. But just super excited to get this 1, 2, 3 in stage 2 and stage 1. We made the decision to move to the top, and it paid dividends there in the second stage. And we started in the back for stage 3, and we just stayed committed to the top. Slowly worked our way up, and I'm just so excited right now. I'm really looking forward to this season to start.
Devin, I have a boring racing question for you. We speculated before the race about whether it would matter taking tires. And when you all pitted under caution in stage 2 and got tires, it looked like it wasn't really helping you get around Colin, who had old tires. So what's the answer? Does the tires matter at Michigan in the next gen Cup car?
It definitely does, because it's kind of sneaky. You think you can run wide open bottom, but I know at the end of stage 1, I got freight trained on the top, because once you get side by side on the top on old tires, you just plow so much. But the tires did pay dividends. The reason we're riding behind Colin is because exactly what we did at the end. We just knew we would have the momentum on the top, but we had to make the move because we could tell his old tires was affecting him just a little bit. So we had to make the move to get by him. So I would say it absolutely does, depending on how hard you're running the initial run on the bottom. But absolutely made a difference once we got by Colin. It seemed like we could fend off pretty much any run to the inside.
All right, Devin. Well, great run tonight. The mic is yours here at the end. Do you have anybody you want to thank? Shout outs. Mic is yours, my friend.
I just want to thank everyone at Intensity. I'm super thankful they're coming back for this SCSRA season. You two for doing this. Like I said, we got Tojo Mushrooms to come on board. They're the supplier for all the mushrooms for every 5 guys in the country. Good friends with Tony. He's really looking forward to coming on board and watching this league continue to grow as it's been, thanks to you guys broadcasting. New craft fine jewelry and design, Pelicans. Everyone that's on board with this, I can't thank them enough, and I'm just so excited to continue racing and having you guys broadcast this.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties a little bit here with the directorial debut of myself, but we'll get it ironed out going forward, and really fun tonight with Dylan. So we appreciate it. Devin, the shout out. You have a good night. We'll definitely see more of you, I'm sure, as we move through the fall season of Stock Car Sim Racing Association.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
You too, bud. The man, the myth, the legend, the man of the hour, Junior Nation, will be absolutely tearing it down in the Motor City tonight. And Bry, talk to us, bud. An awesome season in the summer. You cap it with the All-Star win here tonight. I'm sure you're going to be partying tonight, man. Talk to us about the run.
I mean, can you guys believe that? I would never have guessed 1, 2, 3. As much as I wanted it to be 1, 2, 3. I mean, how do you get Neon Sim any better right there? You add Dylan. You have to add Dylan. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. It will happen in the SESRA season. It has to. You just don't run that good without it, right?
Brian, tell me, how did it feel? $30 on the line, all-star 10-lap shootout, final stage. You've got your teammates behind you, pushing you. You guys are making a statement. It must have just felt really great. And I was telling David, you've really come on strong at the end of this summer season, picking up that win in the Truck Series. All of a sudden, it seems like you're putting things together. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I think Cody said it best. He said, Devin might be the voice of reason for me. It just so happened you asked me to join the team, and you guys did, started talking and helping a little bit. And I guess I got that monkey off my back, and it's just been going good ever since.
Well, the confidence is bleeding over not only in sim racing but in real racing, Bri. We know you posted a couple of different victories and accomplishments on the real track there, so that's awesome. That's awesome as well, man. And we're always rooting for you regardless of what goofy paint schemes you run in iRacing or goofy team names you join. So really, really awesome stuff, man. The mic is yours. Who you got? What do you want to thank? Awesome job tonight, dude.
I mean, I have to start off with my two teammates that were out there tonight. Derek and Devin, they were wonderful. Devin was calling the shots. We were just kind of pointing the wheel, and stand on the loud pedal is kind of my favorite saying. And, I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of guess. I screwed up there in the second stage, and I sped going on pit road, and I took my, my lumps, got my lap back, and was just fortunate to catch a caution. And and then in that 10 laps, he says, we're going to have to make a move. So I shot her out to the outside, and they went with me. And then I think we went to the middle, and they went with me again. And we went to the outside again. And next thing we know, we were the leaders. So got to thank those guys. They were wonderful. You guys for broadcasting intensity, Tojo Mushrooms, the New Craft Fine Jewelry, Dev Sports Cards, Pelican Snowballs, everybody that's on the race car. My barbershop, McKinleville Barbershop, my girlfriend for letting me do this and not giving me too much of a hard time, and just everybody. Just great team win, and I'm not taking this on my own. This was the rest of those guys. They made it happen for me. So
yeah, absolutely, man. As you say, it takes a village. The wife girlfriend can't really complain now. You're winning races, so the celebrity, and once she sees them merch checks coming in, as we know they will with Tojo on board now, she'll be fine. So thanks a lot, Bri. Awesome run tonight. We'll see more of you obviously in the fall season, so you're not going anywhere. You'll be back with those neon ravers waving your rave popsicle sticks and having fun.
So I hope I got to go back and watch it, but I just hope you guys got a good side of me. My backside. I hope we got looking at all of it. I hope we were all looking good out there.
I don't got the Josh Hall camera angles down just yet. Like I said, directorial debut, but we'll get plenty of views of those goofy race cars as we move forward through the season. No doubt about it.
I will say, Brian, that between you three and Intensity Racing Team and one other car, I can't remember. It looked like there was about 9 teammates out there in the black and purple.
Yeah, Logerman was the other one.
Yeah.
Well, they can all wish they were on Neon Sim, but there was only 3 of us out there tonight, and we showed how it was done. So thanks again, guys.
Only 3 out there, only 1 all-star race champion, my friend. Congrats again. We'll talk to you later, Bri.
All right, thank you.
So, Dylan, as we wrap it up here tonight, Junior Nation on their feet. He brings home the All-Star Championship. Really an awesome and great run by him. Huge congratulations from us here in the booth. Neon Racing kind of has the sweep. We talked about the format tonight. 3 stages was very, very unique. So I thought it was very, very cool outside of the technical issues we had with the stream. We were able to bring it back with stage 2 and then finish off technical difficulty free in stage 3. So what's your thoughts?
I thought it was a great race. We speculated that given the unique challenge tonight and the unfamiliarity that these drivers had with this car, that we might be able to see somebody a little bit unexpected make their way to victory lane. And sure enough, Brian Merle Jr. gets it done with a very exciting finish and a statement by the Neon Racing team. I had a lot of fun calling it with you, and I think hopefully it was a lot of fun to watch as well. So good stuff from the SESRA group, and more to come as we progress into the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a Street Stock League that is going to go unannounced this for the first season, but SESRA does have the Xfinity Series that will be on Wednesday nights, will be on Intensity Broadcasting, so comes back next week. We're all excited about that. And we will wrap it up here for tonight at Michigan International Speedway. For Dylan Redding, I am Intensity's own D. Wright, as @man@Lee Weiss would say. Over